Good afternoon, I'm Johan van Wyk and I am the main organizer of the 2017 Concrete Conference. Now in short, last year we decided to start with bringing the associations, the concrete industry associations, bringing them together. And if I say the concrete industry associations, let's talk about SARMA, CMA, Concrete Society, and of course the Concrete Institute. And we started talking about using the Ready Mix Conference, which at the time was very well established and very well attended, to move that to an overall industry conference, which is now the Concrete Conference. Now at this event you would have seen that we've had 3 sessions. In those sessions, the first session of course we covered some of the economics, the prospects in the concrete industry, and of course we had the very brilliant Michael Jackson talking to us about change. And that was the first session specifically about change, because our industry is going through a lot of changes, our associations are going through a lot of changes, and of course we've got to innovate to keep our industry alive. We had case studies of all the best projects over the last 2 years in South Africa. The whole conference was about bringing our industry together and bringing our industry into the future. And you would have seen that from our tagline, which is just mix it. So not only are we mixing concrete, but we are also mixing all the big anchor sponsors, which this year, thank you very much to PPC, to AfriSam, to Lafarge, and of course to Sephaku as well. We're bringing them together, and of course we're bringing the concrete industry associations together.
The positive news is that within the sort of overall depressed environment, there are some positive elements within the overall market. We can look deeper into some of the specific provinces and some of the markets where we do see growth. For example, the Western Cape, we see good growth in the residential markets in terms of the number of square meters of flat and townhouses approved, the number of square meters of freestanding residential houses. The residential only listed companies, for example, with Bowen and Eduplace have done relatively well over the last 2 years since they listed. So there are pockets of growth. And in terms of overall infrastructure spending, we are seeing an increase in the value of civil projects awarded over the last 12 months. So surprisingly, we have actually seen that activity has increased to some degree in the first quarter of the year. Tender activity isn't as positive amidst a sort of backdrop of a very depressed economy.
CESA sees the importance of the voluntary associations and the institutions, sees the importance of their role in the concrete sector, in the construction sector, in the consulting engineering sector, the importance of banding together and speaking with one voice is that we have common interests. Even though we specialize slightly differently, you get the architects, you get the engineers, you get the quantity surveyors, even though we are different in a way, our core issues are the same.
The role of SAFSEC in addressing the issues within the industry in a greater environment is that of maintaining standards, maintaining discipline in terms of who and what we stand for, striving to live out our mission and our vision set forth in our constitution. Training and education will be a definite cornerstone in that process, and also is securing a playing level field for all participants in the industry, from those from previously disadvantaged groups, including the establishment, ensuring there is a future for everyone in South Africa.
The value of the Concrete Conference to Sephaku is that we as an industry are taking control of our own destiny. We have seen that previous structures within the industry seem to be falling apart, and we cannot afford that in such an important sector within the economy as the construction sector. So it is very important that we take a leading role as one of the primary manufacturers of cement within this industry and within the future of the industry.
I was asked to make a presentation on one of our projects, the Mdlaka Dam, which won some commendations at the Concrete Awards. Essentially, the presentation covers a background to the type of construction that we use, which is a unique form of concrete called rubble masonry. So I gave a bit of a history of the technology and how it actually works, how it is actually turned to concrete, and how we applied it at Ndwaka Dam. I gave some details of the dam itself and some nice presentations of placing of rubble masonry and some of the more interesting aspects of the construction activities.
I was here today to give a little presentation on what we actually did at the Mount Edgecombe interchange. Basically a free flow 4-level interchange comprising of 3 incrementally launched decks. Biggest deck 937 meters long, currently the longest incrementally launched structure in the Southern Hemisphere. Construction started in 2013. Currently we're about 95% complete, and also the recipients of the Fulton Awards for 2017 infrastructure.
And then of course we've already set the dates for next year's concrete conference. We're going bigger and better, we're changing it up again, and the dates for next year, we're looking forward to seeing everybody back here on the 1st to the 3rd of August 2018.